Hi guys, Simon here again, back from the holidays. Had a great time. Thanks for all the support and well wishes and everything. Solimons Tales, continuing on. We left off, Solomon had got his room, got his bike sorted for the next 2 months. Frozen had gone off to meet her boyfriend, was going to catch up the next day with Solomon. Solomon had had his heart-to-heart with Kay, understood a bit more about what was happening with the girls and their boyfriends. He headed back to his room after his encounter with Kay, and the room he got, as I mentioned, Soi 2, top floor. There was a room next to his and a couple of rooms below, a couple of rooms below that, so about 6 apartments. He pulled in to his apartment, parked his bike, there's a couple of bikes there, and right in front, the bottom 2 apartments, a couple of tables outside, there was about 8 girls all eating, dressed in pyjamas, shorts, just, you know, just as the Thai girls do. They dress in these funny animated pyjamas and things, Pokemon and all this sort of stuff, and they're all there as usual eating. On closer inspection, a couple of those girls were stunning, absolutely stunning. Anyway, Solomon sort of smiled and waved and said hi to them all, and they all sort of said hi, and they were intrigued. They were sort of, where was he going, who was this guy? And up he went, the sort of stairs at the end, steps, concrete steps going up, and it's like a long balcony that you walk along and you go into the 2 rooms at the top. But outside Solomon's room, well, in the corner at the time, was a plastic table and like a patio table and chairs, and nobody owned those, they were just sat in the corner. He dragged them along, put them outside his room. There's room there to sit. Not a pretty sight. The view was straight at the back at the other bars, the Atlantic bar and the other couple, but he could see some sky and trees off to both sides, so he smoked. He could sit out there, have a beer, smoke. There's a fridge in the room, microwave in the room, all good, free aircon. So anyway, into his room, mucks around for a minute, thinks, right, I'm going to go down to the 7-Eleven, which is literally 30 metres away, underneath the bar at the front, get some beers, get a few provisions. Didn't really need anything in the room, it was all sorted. So shot down, grab some stuff from 7-Eleven, come back. Again, the girls are all saying hi again, and they twig that he's obviously moved in at the top. Anyway, up he comes, top floor, goes in, throws some stuff, throws a bit of food together on the microwave, comes out, sits at his plastic table. There he is, ashtray, cigarettes, Heineken, cheaper from 7-Eleven. Heineken, bit of food, noodles and bits and pieces. And he sat there thinking, well, this is going to be a good room. It's great location. It's literally only a couple of 100 metres from Dolphin Roundabout. It's a few 100 metres down to the beach. He's on Second Road almost, where the bars in front are. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. It's on the Songtel route that goes around from Dolphin Road, along Beach Road, back up by the Bamboo Bar and back along Second Road. So if he doesn't want to take the bike, if he wants an evening going to get drunk, walking street or one of the Sois, perfect. All good. Hadn't heard from Ning, still no message back. She's obviously still with her fella. The golfing caddy pro or whatever he is, I'm sure she'll pop up at some point. Frozen's off with her boyfriend. Solomon finds himself alone. Sat there, a couple of minutes later, 3 or 4 girls appear Now, yeah, as I said, he sat outside his room. There's this balcony here, room next door. 3 or 4 girls appear. They're all sharing the room next to him. And these are some of the girls from downstairs, and the 2 pretty ones. And they come up onto the balcony, walking along to their door. And of course, Thai girls, they're nosy. They're like, who is this? What's this? And they're straight over. And they start chatting to Solimon. It's like, quite good English. Turns out that all these 4, and some from downstairs on the middle floor and the bottom floor, they all work Atlantic Bar. Now that Atlantic Bar I think it's still there in 2017. It was famous because it was the only bar that Solimon ever come across, and myself as well when I was over there, where the girls were dressed in evening dresses as if they were going for a meal or going out to a nice venue. They were really smart in the Atlantic Bar, and that was their hook to get the customers in. All these girls worked at the Atlantic Bar. Oh, poor Solimon. 4 girls living next door to him. Remember, he's not there for a hedonistic holiday, and he's not there to spend lots of money on girls. But they're nosy. They come and start chatting, and one of them jumps in the other chair, and then before you know it, a couple have gone in the room, pulled some more food out, and more chairs have appeared, and it's turning out to be 4 girls plus Solimon on the balcony, eating and chatting. How lucky is Solimon? He just gets luckier and luckier. The 2 pretty girls, both are only about 18, 19. Anyway, they have a chat for a bit, and they twig that Solomon's single, that he's got a bike, that he's rented the room, he's told them for 2 months. Perks their interest, you know. Anyway, they stop. Off they go. It's time for work. It's coming up in the evening. It's getting on 7ish. Out they come. Solomon's still sat there. Out they come. And both those 2 pretty girls have got those cat suits on. They haven't got the evening dresses. The other 2 did. But these 2 have cat suits on. And Solomon's like, well, you work at Atlantic Bar, but you normally have dresses and things. And these 2 with the cat suits, well, we sort of work at Atlantic Bar. We work at the bar next door. And the one next door to that, and the Atlantic. Sort of freelancers? No, it's the same boss for... Okay, whatever. But they had cat suits on. Stunning. Yeah, I could see Solimon. Yeah, Solomon's mind. He was, yeah, we won't go there. Off they go to the bar, and they said, "Come over for a drink." And he's like, "No, it's expensive. Start drinking in the bars. I'm going to be broke before I know it. I'll end up getting drunk and then paying a bar fine for someone, and yes, all your money goes really quick." He said, "No, I'm just going to have a quiet night and early night and chill." Off they go. He's intrigued, you know. He's thinking, I should go up to the bars and just see the girls in situ, but I won't. Not that night. And he actually turns in and has an early night. Well, it starts off as an early night with Asia, the heat. He's got the aircon. He's restless, you know. He'd been travelling a bit the days before. He'd had to sleep for a couple of hours, and Pattaya doesn't go to sleep. It's open all night, all day, pretty much. Somewhere in areas anyway. But he couldn't sleep. A couple of hours. He's like, I can't sleep when I get up. He said, but I'm not going to go to the bars. What he does need is practice on the pool table. And he thinks, literally just round the corner, along Second Road towards Dolphin Roundabout, is the pool bar. Sharkies? I think it was called Sharkies. Where there's contests as well, but where they have the girls that are really good. Really, really good. He thinks, I'm going to get up, I'm going to go and have a practice. I'm going to knock some balls about. have a couple of drinks up there. That's what he does. Leaves the bike, he just only walks up. Of course, as he walks past the end of the Atlantic bar bars, he sort of looks over, spots one of the girls. Up to Sharky's bar, in he goes. Now this is more like a bit of a warehouse inside a factory. It's loads of tables, girls racking up the balls on the tables, customers playing. You pay for the table per game, and you can buy lady drinks for the girls if you want to play them at pool. You know, you don't have to buy too many, and some of the girls who work there are connected to the managers, and maybe their boyfriends work there or whatever. But Solomon gets up there, goes in, not many customers, maybe 4 or 5, and it's quite a big sort of bar. So immediately the girls are on him. What he wants to do, he wants to try all these tables out and get to know the tables, see if there's any quirky tables, and he wants to just get a bit of practice. He hasn't played for a while, and he remembers from the time before there was this one girl, really good. Now she was the boss's girlfriend. He spotted her and he beckoned her over, says, can we play? Can I play you? Can I try some of the tables? And she remembered him. She's sort of like, I remember you. I'm going to call her Pot, because she potted everything. He bought a couple of drinks and he moved around the tables and he practiced for a few hours, and she beat him many games. Oh, was she good. She was really good, but she knew every table. Even if the ball would slightly roll one way in a corner or one pocket was easier, she knew. So it was great practice. In came a few more foreigners, and one came in particular that Solomon recognised, that he played again in one of the contests, and that bloke had beaten him. I cannot remember where the guy was from, but he tended to drink. He was maybe German, Belgium, somewhere in Europe. He was European, but he tended to drink on the other side of Dolphin roundabout, away from the beachfront. He tended to drink up there, and he would just come in. He was a hustler. He would play the pool, killer pool contest, the same as Solomon, and he was better than Solomon. He was probably beat Solomon 7 out of 10 times, I would say. He was really good, and he'd gone in this bar the same as Solomon to learn the tables. They acknowledged each other, but they didn't play each other. That'd be bad form, really. You know, someone who's the main competitors, you just avoid them. You don't want them learning any weaknesses you have. So there we go. Solomon spent a few hours in there. Pot, the girl, very good, very pretty, very lucky manager. And he came out a couple of hours later, time back to the room for sleep. And again, as he come back down the road, he's looking over, because that Atlantic bar is just up a few steps, maybe 5 or 6 steps above a couple of shops. There's a row of about 3 or 4 bars there. And he's just peeking up, spot the girls, yeah. Heads back up to his room, and yeah, he's still, I'm gonna have another beer on the balcony. Yeah, you just know what he's thinking. Gets up, sits outside, beer. But those girls working the bars, they probably, if they haven't got a customer, they won't come finishing the bar till 2, 3, 4 in the morning. As he sat on the balcony, the music from the bars is literally only 20 meters away. There's different music at each bar. That's quite loud. And it's probably only about, what, 11 o'clock at night, midnight, and the music's quite loud. A little bit annoying. Has his beer in the room, crashes. Struggles to sleep. The music goes on all night. Only thin window in the front. Yeah, really starting to be annoying on the first night. That's not good. And that music goes on all night long. Anyway, Solomon's back. Everything's set up. The next day, we'll get to on the next video. It's got that competition in Soy 8. Hopefully that guy won't turn up. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.